Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm excited to share the full life story and career of tennis superstar Novak Djokovic. Known for his incredible returns, flexibility, and mental toughness on court, Novak's journey from war-torn Serbia to being one of the greatest tennis players of all time is truly inspiring. Stick around as I take you through his childhood, early tennis days, rise to stardom, rivalries with Federer and Nadal, and record-breaking career achievements. This is the incredible journey of Novak Djokovic. Who is Novak Djokovic? Serbian tennis star. Novak Djokovic is one of the greatest players in the sport's history. He began playing tennis at age 4 and turned pro in 2003 at age 16. After a steady ascent to the top levels of the sport, he won the Australian Open in 2008 and led the Serbian national team to its first Davis Cup win in 2010. In 2011, he claimed 3 of 4 Grand Slams and compiled a 43-match winning streak en route to the world's #1 ranking. With his first French Open win in 2016, he became the first man since Rod Laver in 1969 to hold all 4 major titles at once. Djokovic has won 24 Grand Slam titles in his career, a record in men's tennis. Djokovic began playing tennis at age 4, then in the summer of 1993. At 6 years old, Djokovic was spotted by Yugoslavian tennis legend Jelena Gencic at his parents' sports complex. Gencic worked with Djokovic for the next 6 years. During this time, the war in former Yugoslavia and the bombing of Belgrade meant that, for almost 3 months, Djokovic and his family would spend a few hours in the middle of each night in the basement. Djokovic has said that the hardships of war drove him to pursue tennis with even greater determination. At 13, Djokovic was sent to the Pilic Academy in Munich to pursue higher levels of competition. In 2001, at age 14, he began his international career. He ended that year as a triple European champion in singles, doubles, and team competition. He won the silver medal at the World Junior Championship in a team competition for Yugoslavia. At 16, after winning 5 ITF tournaments, he was ranked the 40th best junior tennis player in the world. Professional tennis career. In 2003, Djokovic turned pro, and 20 years on, the 36-year-old remains one of the most dominant players in men's tennis. He won his first ATP Challenger tournament in 2004 in Budapest, where he started as a qualifier. The following year, Djokovic qualified at Wimbledon and reached the 3rd round, moving him up the rankings and into the top 100. In the 2007 season, Djokovic played the semi-finals of the French Open and Wimbledon. He won his 2nd Masters title in Montreal, beating the top 3 players, Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, and Andy Roddick, which made him number 3 in the world. He competed for Serbia in the 2008 Beijing Olympics and won a bronze medal in singles tennis. In 2010, the Serbian national team clinched the Davis Cup trophy for Serbia for the first time in history. Djokovic went on to win 43 matches in a row in 2011, the only player in the world to achieve such a run. That same year, he won the Australian Open, Wimbledon, and the US Open to become the world's #1 tennis player. In 2012, Djokovic won the Australian Open singles title and made it to the semi-finals at Wimbledon. He was beaten in the semi-finals, however, by longtime rival Federer, who went on to win the Wimbledon final against Andy Murray. Later that year, Djokovic faced off against Murray in the final at the US Open. He fought hard against Murray, but he ended up losing the match after 5 sets. For the 3rd year in a row, Djokovic took home the men's singles title at the Australian Open in 2013. He was the runner-up at Wimbledon that year, losing in the final to Andy Murray. At the US Open, Djokovic was the top-ranked player. He easily dispatched his opponents in the first 3 rounds of play, but he lost in the final to Rafael Nadal. In 2014, Djokovic claimed his 2nd Wimbledon title in an epic 5-set win over 7-time champion Roger Federer. It was his 7th Grand Slam title. At the 2014 US Open, Djokovic defeated Andy Murray to reach the semi-finals for the 8th time. He was subsequently defeated in the semi-finals by Japan's Kei Nishikori, who became the first player from that country to make it to the Grand Slam final. Djokovic kicked off 2015 by winning the Australian Open over Andy Murray after a heated battle on the blue court. It was his 5th Australian Open title and the 8th Grand Slam title of his career. He then knocked off nine-time champion Rafael Nadal in the quarterfinals of the French Open, but fell short in his bid to claim his first French title, with a loss to Stan Wawrinka of Switzerland in the final. Djokovic was back in the thick of things at Wimbledon that July, defeating Richard Gasquet in the semifinals, before upending Federer to win his third singles title on the famed grass courts. Facing Federer again in the rain-delayed 2015 US Open final, Djokovic shrugged off a hard fall early in the match and eventually clinched a tough 4-set win. The victory gave him his 10th major singles title and left him with an incredible 27-1 record in Grand Slam play for the year. The world's number one roared out of the gates to start the 2016 season, surging to his 6th Australian Open title. That June, following consecutive runner-up finishes at the French Open, he finally broke through with his first tournament win. The title made him the 8th man to complete the career Grand Slam and the first since Australia's Rod Laver in 1969 to hold all four major titles at once. But Djokovic's quest to win all the Grand Slams in a calendar year came to an abrupt end at Wimbledon when he was defeated by Sam Querrey, an American player ranked number 41 in the first week of competition. Later that year, he lost to Stan Wawrinka in the US Open final. 2017 elbow injury. Following some disappointing results in early 2017, including a second-round loss at the Australian Open, Djokovic sought to shake things up by bringing tennis great Andre Agassi on board as his new coach. He won the grass-court Eastbourne International Tournament that summer, but after retiring in the Wimbledon quarterfinals, he announced he was sitting out the remainder of the season to help his ailing right elbow recuperate. Djokovic ultimately underwent elbow surgery after his fourth-round loss at the 2018 Australian Open, and although he was shaky in his first tournaments following his return in March, the champion within showed signs of awakening. Wimbledon comeback and beyond. In summer 2018, Djokovic outlasted Rafael Nadal in a marathon 5-set semi-final at Wimbledon, before toppling South African Kevin Anderson to claim the 13th Grand Slam title of his career. Djokovic then captured his 14th Grand Slam title and third US Open title by besting his 2016 Olympic nemesis, Juan Martín del Potro. In January 2019, Djokovic defeated Nadal to claim a record 7th Australian Open singles title and his 15th overall major championship, breaking a tie with Pete Sampras for third most all-time. He added to his total by beating Federer in a thrilling 5-set Wimbledon final that summer, though his run at the season's final Grand Slam, the US Open, came to a disappointing end when he retired from his fourth-round match versus Stan Wawrinka due to a shoulder injury. The following February, Djokovic bounced back from a 2-1 deficit against Austrian Dominic Thiem to grab his 8th Australian Open singles title, a win that also pushed him back into the top spot in the ATP rankings. When professional tennis resumed following a COVID-19 pandemic-induced suspension, the number 1 seed was disqualified at the 2020 US Open in the 4th round after accidentally hitting a line judge with a tennis ball. Back on the court in 2021, Djokovic proved the previous year's events hadn't slowed him down. He won 3 more majors, tallying his 20th Grand Slam title at Wimbledon, and was runner-up at the US Open. At the Australian Open, he beat Daniil Medvedev of Russia 7-5, 6-2, 6-2 in the final. Winning the French Open wasn't as easy. In the 4-hour-long title match against Greece's Stefanos Tsitsipas, Djokovic was down the first 2 sets before rallying to clinch the trophy, 6-7, 6-2, 6, 6-3, 6-2, 6-4. His victory over Italian Matteo Berrettini, 6-7, 4, 6-4, 6-4, 6-3, at the Wimbledon placed the Serbian in a 3-way tie with Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal for all-time Grand Slam men's titles. Djokovic and Nadal have continued to compete for the outright record in subsequent majors. The 2022 season frustrated Djokovic. Having chosen not to be vaccinated for COVID-19, he didn't compete at the Australian or US Opens. In the quarterfinals of the French Open, Djokovic faced Nadal, known for his dominance on clay courts, and lost 2-6, 6-4, 2-6, 6-7, 4. His redemption came by defending his Wimbledon title for a 4th consecutive win, beating Australia's Nick Kyrgios 4-6, 6-3, 6-4, 7-6, 3. In 2023, the Serbian star fared much better, winning 3 Grand Slams. He captured his 10th Australian Open victory, beating Stefanos Tsitsipas for the title while battling a hamstring injury. His historic win at the French Open followed. A 3-set sweep against Norwegian Casper Ruud saw Djokovic bypass Rafael Nadal for most Grand Slam men's titles at a record 23. Although he made it to the Wimbledon final, Spain's Carlos Alcaraz snapped Djokovic's 4-year winning streak there. The veteran player was frustrated throughout the competitive match, even breaking one of his rackets during the 5th set. Never down and out for long, Djokovic soared through the US Open, breaking a tie with Federer after reaching his 47th major semi-final, the most of any man. His win over Medvedev in the final marked his 4th US Open title and 24th Grand Slam overall, surpassing Serena Williams for the most Grand Slams of any player in the Open era. Djokovic is now tied with Margaret Court for most Grand Slam titles in tennis history. Olympic medal and appearances. Despite his command of the ATP tournament circuit, Djokovic hasn't found the same level of success at the Olympics. He has competed for Serbia in 4 Summer Games, beginning with Beijing in 2008. That year, the 21-year-old walked away with a bronze medal from the men's singles competition. In 2012, he finished 4th in London. At the Rio Games in 2016, the #1 ranked player in the world was ousted out of his Olympic dreams on the 2nd day of competition when Juan Martín del Potro of Argentina beat him 7-6-4, 7-6-2. Although he left the courts in tears, Djokovic told reporters, "Delpo was the better player and he deserved to win. That's sport." He was also disappointed in Tokyo. At the pandemic-delayed games held in 2021, Djokovic lost out on a 2nd bronze medal, coming up short against Pablo Carreño Busta of Spain. #1 rankings record and stats. As of September 11, 2023, Djokovic is currently ranked the #1 men's singles player in the world. He first cracked the ATP's top 10 in March 2007, but the top ranking eluded him for more than 4 years. On July 4, 2011, Djokovic was ranked #1 for the first time. He remained at the top for nearly a year and has reclaimed the spot over the years. In total, Djokovic has held the #1 ranking for 390 weeks, the most of any male or female tennis player. Steffi Graf held the record at 377 weeks until February 27, 2023. Coach. Over the year, Djokovic's coaches have included Jelena Gencic, Marian Vida, Bogdan Obradovic, Andre Agassi, and current coach Goran Ivanisevic, all former pro tennis players. Back in his childhood, Gencic was his first tennis mentor. "Pretty much what I know on court, I owe to her," Djokovic said, according to a 2013 New York Times article. "She's the one who developed my game. Whatever she told me, I did. And she kept telling me I had the talent to be #1. I believed her, and I still believe her." Djokovic and Agassi worked together for 1 year, from May 2017 until April 2018, before and after, which Djokovic teamed up with Vajda. The pair worked together for a total of 15 years, ending their professional relationship in December 2021. Wife and children, Djokovic began dating Jelena Ristic in 2005. The couple became engaged in 2013 and wed on July 10, 2014, just days after his Wimbledon win that year. They welcomed a son named Stefan on October 21, 2014, and a daughter, Tara, on September 2, 2017. The family lives in Monte Carlo, Monaco. Personal life. Djokovic's lighthearted personality has earned him the nickname Joker, a combination of his surname and the word Joker. Despite his occasional on-court temper, he's known for his humorous off-court impersonations of fellow players. Djokovic is a member of the Serbian Orthodox Christian Church, and in April 2011, he was awarded the Order of St. Sava, First Class, the highest decoration given for his demonstrated love for the Church and the Serbian people. He participates in the Champions for Peace Club, created by Peace and Sport, a Monaco-based international organization. In 2007, he and wife Jelena created the Novak Djokovic Foundation to help disadvantaged children in Serbia obtain an education and provide resources to lead productive and healthy lives. Djokovic speaks Serbian, Italian, German, and English. And there you have it, the incredible life and career of Novak Djokovic. His journey has been one of hard work, perseverance, and making the best of his potential. Novak's dedication to tennis and healthy lifestyle allows him to continue competing at the top level. Thanks for watching this full biography on one of tennis's all-time greats. Let me know in the comments who else you'd like to see a biography video on next.